Good afternoon. Sorry, I forgot to talk to you online. Hello. Welcome. No, you couldn't hear me, Rosemary, because I hadn't turned the microphone on. I'd forgotten. I'm new to this. I've only been doing it for 4 years. I forget. We're full to the brim in here today, so I'm running. And Jackie's serving, and she's had a customer in for like 10 minutes. So it's all the bits that Jackie normally does. I'm gonna have to do myself. If I can move your brushes just over there for now, and I can squeeze out everybody's paints. No, it's alright, honestly. It's fine.
You know, when you seem to have got it all, and then you pick it up and you think, why on earth is there a big gap?
Or I'll start painting and I can't interpret what I'm doing.
I know, I know with these sticks, that's where it's going to go wrong, isn't it?
White is our friend.
But yeah, because there's too many
gaps.
Yeah, and then
I'll
you
fill the wrong gap in.
Yeah. And then I have to make it
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It shoots out the top.
I haven't been able to
The seal's gone on the pouch.
as I should.
I was doing a demo for a WI group, and I was squeezing it out, and it was shooting out that end, and it was shooting out that end at the same time.
Of course, in the last colour we get a paint is white, isn't it?
I've never seen one of these before.
These are lovely. They're a really good brand. They're by a company called Sonelier.
Oh yeah.
And they're really good paints, and they're a good price, which is just as important.
Do you want me to be doing some as well?
It's a treat. I don't know, it's been 2 weeks.
I know, I think you've been longer than that, because I came 2 weeks ago and you weren't here.
No, you haven't been for ages, Christine.
I know, and as I say, I'm living half a life without this. I tell you that.
I know. I forget what a crucial part of life we are to be.
What's this here? What's that?
I think that's just lights in the background.
No.
That's how I interpret it anyway.
What's here?
To be honest, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
Have a pet. We'll take one out for it.
Just that one. Yeah, I suppose you'll have this too. Oh, could you put it in? Oh, not too bad. No. Good. Yeah, down here it's looking complicated.
We've got exhibition on at Ash Management with the colour revolution.
Oh, I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's really nice. Remember saying that the green paint had arsenic in it. I didn't
Oh
realise.
yeah, there was a wallpaper that when it got damp, it gave off arsenic fumes, and people were dying from it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I am a brush sucker.
No comment.
It's just a minor hobby. Yes, easy for me to say. Yeah, I didn't know how long you'd be.
I was literally just thinking, oh, that's about right.
Smashing stuff. Thank you.
There was no way I was going to pull that free.
Oh gosh, no.
You did.
Hello, Diane.
It's an interpretation.
It is, isn't it?
I thought I
It's
can't
nice.
do a
Come
horrible
out
thing to
all
this poor man.
Yes, that's fine. Usually just me and Kathleen, don't I?
I'm feeling quite overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah. Crowd control.
A long time been coming, I've never ever
Seen it before. No, it's good, isn't it?
Same here.
started this year.
Nice.
Really, I wanted to do it on my own.
Yeah.
I'll be here now.
Yeah, just after lockdown when it started, I didn't know there were other people who came to classes because I was here
Well, because all of our regulars, you've got
straight away, and I've not got my anxiety on.
No, I said to Kathy, you're next to Christine Lighting,
I know,
and you're not in a nightie.
no, I cannot
I
find
might have to give you a splash.
Bless you.
I'll have to give you a pack of mac or something, Kathy.
Yeah, well, I've got a shirt on. So
She's a bit,
protect
Well,
me.
I've got
a
that.
bit slap up. No, this has got to go on now, hasn't it?
Of course.
It hasn't been that long since you've been to
Well,
Scrap.
it is. Oh. I didn't realise you missed some.
Put it on both sides now, Barry.
What the hell you live there?
It's lovely to have you back, Christine.
Wait, do you want to move that nearer to you?
Yeah, and the same thing is I haven't taped it before we picked it
Yeah,
up.
it looks. Yeah.
So it isn't
See, he has forgotten what I like.
Oh, why haven't you?
Well, I wouldn't call
Really
myself
haven't.
nice.
I'll put that
I enjoy it.
there.
Oh, but we've been going to class for a long time. We don't.
You
No,
don't
no,
have to
we
like
can stick it there.
We thought we'd try something else.
I mean, I could.
Even doing
How much space have
my
you
daughter
got?
can pay. My
Put
daughter
that
can
where
pay.
you
My
want
sister
it,
can. My
and
brother.
then we can
So I thought,
try
right,
and
I keep saying no, I can't do
I'm
that.
going to put it in. I'm just going to put it in.
Mum,
Yeah, then I can leave
don't
it.
keep saying that you haven't tried.
And you're not interfering with
I do
Kathy
embroidery
too
and
much.
patchwork and
But
I've
I've
learned
crocheting
all
boots.
that sort of handcrafts.
But have
So
you
I
sold?
do not
No.
tell you I can't do anything with
They're all my
drawings.
sacrifices.
So
I just
tried
can't find
and I can't do it.
it.
And I won't get it.
For shipping.
Well,
But it's a bit of fun. My son and I, both of us at 70 and just 75 decided to have a
Wait
get
till
on.
oh, good. I think that's well. That's
You know, it's
Your
not
house.
but it's
Out of the way.
therapeutic.
I think yeah.
Oh, what's the weather like up north, Diane? Yeah, I create more problems, that's why. You forget what you've got because I create more.
I was just saying about turning up and finding you've got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yeah.
Then I did.
Is he sitting for you?
Oh, I wish. No.
We did Julie Andrews last night.
Did you? Yeah, but that was his name, Mark. Mark did.
Matt.
He traced it, Matt. And his didn't look a bit like him. He looked like bloke out of Les Miserables. And it just, and I'm thinking,
Well, they've cloned
and he, Matt said, well, I traced it, but it's still going to look like
There's no guarantee with tracing.
But it was
Anything can happen.
face to face with Benedict Cumberbatch. You've got to trace.
So have either of you done acrylics before?
A little bit. Not much.
Okay. So are you local or are you're not from, you're both Solihull?
Yeah, I just found the Brummie.
My accent gets stronger the more excited I get.
We'll try and not excite.
Yeah, don't excite me. When I used to work for Dale Rowney and I was their like UK demonstrator for acrylics, when I was doing the big shows at the Hobbycraft place at the NEC, it was fine because everyone could understand me up there. But when I was in Islington, nobody had a clue what I was talking about. Because the more I was painting, the more excited I was getting. The broader the black country twang, it was a bit much. There was I don't watch Britain's Got Talent, but there was a young comedian on the other recently, and she's got cerebral palsy, and she come on and she said, before I start, I'd like to just say you may not be able to understand me. I have a condition called cerebral palsy and I'm from the Black Country. I heard the twang straight away and I thought, excellent. Nobody can understand me. Although when I went back home not so long ago, my cousin said to me, "Blinking heck, Baz, you do half sound posh. You sound like a solicitor." A solicitor, and I said I didn't think solicitors was just posh, but so yeah, they think I'm a snob because I've lost my twang, but it's only so people can understand me. Right. Oh, it was quite nice up north. It's sunshine and 8 degrees up in Cumbria. I've got someone joining us from Cumbria at the moment. So what was it like when you left? Like this?
It was very rainy.
Rainy. You've got the best weather today, Diane. That's it. Tape your bits down. Are we sorted, Christine?
So we take
Oh.
these down.
Is that wise?
Well,
That's it. Yeah, because once you start brushing, you see your paper goes all over the place. So yeah, tape yourself down. Now it's up to you if you want to go all the way around, or just the sides, or just the corners. Doesn't really matter.
we should know this actually because we do the
It's the excitement of being somewhere new, isn't it? And it's quite refreshing that you both say you're from Solihull and not Solihull, so I know I'll like you. Solihull. Solihull.
Not all of them are.
Solihull. My brother-in-law's mum's from Solihull,
not some.
not Solihull.
You come from
She's quite
all the way
posh.
from Solihull.
Yes.
I know.
Words got around.
I know.
Yeah, he's infamous.
Yeah.
Infamy. He's got it.
For me. And you can get fancy drinks on a weekday.
Do we?
Yeah. When I do the coffee break, it's down. Kathy makes it, so you can have like hot chocolates and lattes. It's not just something I've knocked up with a kettle.
Don't mind your nothing like the petrol.
Oh yeah, the biscuit tin's still here.
So I had this lady's ordered cake.
Oh really?
I heard one lady said she wanted cake.
Yes, they are from the right side of Solihull, Rosemary.
Right side.
The right side, not Solihull. Solihull. From Solihull.
Posh all my life because I haven't got an accent.
Well, no, because you were all over the place, weren't you?
It's been like hell at school.
Really?
Especially when I was at boarding school in Germany, when my dad was in Germany. And then even one of the teachers said, "Oh, you Major Winstanley's daughter." I said, "No, actually, Corporal Winstanley." What's it got to do with that? Yeah. Hang on, what's it got to do with that whether I'm a major or a corporal's daughter? I'm at school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always
It's just a neutral accent, isn't it, really?
it's been something I've had to bear with.
I think there's nothing wrong with the neutralish accent. Thank you, Diane.
Anything except I was born in Lincolnshire and I don't want that.
There was a programme on this morning about a woman, and there's a thing called foreign language.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
see that
I
one?
didn't see it. I think I've seen her on something else. Is she Welsh at the moment?
Well, she is Welsh at the moment, but she's never been to Wales.
No. Yeah. So she's got like this foreign accent syndrome where she, like, I don't know if it's head trauma, but she woke up speaking in a Welsh accent. Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's not a really good Welsh accent, and it looks like she's putting it on, but she isn't putting it on. She really is talking with a Welsh accent. Really bizarre.
Yeah, she's not happy.
I don't blame her.
Quite like it.
Well, yeah, it depends really, because I'm learning Welsh. I love Wales. I'd like to retire to North Wales. That feels like home to me. But like South Wales is very lyrical, isn't it? That's where it sings, you know. It's Gavin and Stacey. Whereas North Wales, they talk like they've got a cold, you know. They're down their throats like that, you know. Sort of like that.
I can't, you can, can't you? That was very good though, Barry.
Well, thank you. Diolch yn fawr. Diolch yn fawr I chi. Right. Are you drawn, Rosemary? No? Yes? No? I forgot to ask you. So we've got quite a few colours for Snowdrops in the snow. Because I just thought, you know, might as well. Well, we need the green, don't we? So we need the red and the yellow and the blue for the green. But the background's sort of a bit of everything. And we want it to be out of focus because the snowdrops are in focus. So we will have to paint around them. Oh, yes, Rosemary says there was a head trauma patient that woke up speaking French, but not just an accent. They'd never had a French lesson, and they were actually fluent in French. And there was someone that woke up with a Chinese accent. I mean, it's it would. Can you imagine me waking up in Dudley with a Chinese accent?
Welsh and a Chinese accent.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, what would happen if you had a different accent? Oh, weird. Anyway, so we're going to go with backgrounds. We'll do a bit of background first. The shop's really busy today. Jackie's got like 4 people in there. That's a queue for us.
Whether people want to do some painting.
We're going to go big brush. Big brush. I'm just going to tap it in my water first, just to soften me bristles a little bit. It's like being in a carry-on film here this afternoon. Right, so I'm going to get a dollop of white, and this will be the background. So it should show up enough for me to show you where I'm sticking it. So like all of this area is going to be white, and we don't want that to dry because it's quite full in here. I might have to just knock the heater off in a minute because we don't want it wet. We don't want the paint to dry too fast. But I do like acrylics that you've got control.
Really?
Some control. Yeah, I mean you can switch to a smaller brush to go around them, but we don't want it to dry, and it is sort of like a mishmash of weird colours, that background, so you can go a bit wild with it. I might regret saying that to some of you. Just a little there, because the thing is you end up painting over a lot of what you've drawn anyway. If it feels a bit sticky, just dip the tip into some water, and then you can just move the paint around. You don't want it sloppy, that's the thing. White is your friend in acrylics and oils, actually. Then I'm going to mix up a bit of white, black and brown on my tile, and then just start shoving it on. Don't need much. There is some yellow in there as well.
Do we have to keep up with you, Barry?
A little, but I can't. I mean, white. I can't let me white dry. You see, that's the problem.
Is it white, black, and brown?
Yeah, and you can just insert yellow. I do stop so you can catch up.
When?
Next week.
Ask him 15 times the same question, and that slows him down.
So this is black, brown, and a little bit of white.
Sorry.
That's okay. So twist your brush when you add in the darker colours, like just literally just skim it across and give it a twist and a wiggle. Your brush, not you, Christine. And brown. Because there are some dark bits, aren't there? And there's some light bits.
What colours, sorry, what
That's
colours?
okay. White, brown, and a bit of black.
Is this still with the big brush?
Yeah. And then you can drop in bits of yellow randomly. And again, if it feels sticky, just dip the tip of your brush.
But you just go over the white again, you do?
Yes, yeah. So it will sort of lighten as you go, but you don't want it too light. And you've got white on your brush. So it'll go sort of greyish, and then we can add yellows and sludgy colours as you go along, really. You can play about with this a little bit. But because it's out of focus, you don't really need to have defined anything. It can just be blobby. I know, no sky at all in this, is there?
No, not sky. And no flipping trees either.
No, no skies, no trees,
No Father Christmas.
no Father Christmas. Yet.
Yeah.
Well, there is
You, you did Father Christmas on a bridge, didn't you?
Yes, you did. Our last lesson.
See, it's ingrained in my memory, Steve.
You look like he was about to.
A little bit of yellow dropped in. Blobbed in.
Technical words.
No, you've got to learn this technical language.
Blob, drop, dab, shove, stick.
Bang on.
We've got here about tape.
Oh, stick it,
I
Tim.
just realised it's
Sorry.
moving around.
Yeah.
Put yours on. Thank you.
What?
Kathy's an amazing acrylicist.
Why are you sitting next to Steve? This is Speedy. Listen, I've had to learn to be fast. I know. I'm trying really hard. I've improved. I've improved on speed. But there's nothing.
Would it help if I gave you the countdown clock, Christine? Boo.
I come here to get rid of attention, Barry.
Well, that's because I give you new tension.
Substitute
It's like when you got toothache and someone stands on your foot. You know. This is a bit of brown, a bit of yellow, sludgy bits. Just so we like some sludge.
Has it got to be precisely around the image?
Nah,
No.
nah. We don't do precise here. Lucky if we just paint.
It doesn't come out like the picture. He'll say
It's your world.
It's your interpretation.
But I will warn you, Christine blames. She says I give her faulty brushes, and she'll blame everything, won't you, Christine?
I'm just not warmed up to it yet.
Warmed up to blaming things.
Well,
Okay.
now you see, it looks really like I've gone round this with a different texture.
Yeah. Well, don't forget though.
Yeah.
We'll just make the snowdrops wider.
With a
So-
black edge.
No.
Looking on the bright side. But everything's looking great.
Well, it's just to give a dark background so it helps the snowdrops stand out, because everything is sort of dark. Even the snow's not white, is it? When you think compared to the snowdrops, everything's
I knew we wouldn't be painting white
a bit of a manky colour.
straight away.
But you are here to enjoy yourselves. Even if that's only the hot chocolate or whatever.
It's going to end up on landscape artist.
Well, yeah, you know what? If you can keep up with me in 2 hours, you'll be bored on landscape because you get 4 hours there.
I know.
You could be able to knock 2 up, Leslie.
Yeah, just splash it all
Or
over.
one on
That'll
each,
be the best
one in each hand.
Yeah.
I've
Always
stopped.
pick the right one as well, because it's the one that we don't understand.
Yeah, but it's sad that is though, isn't it? Because there's some amazing art, and you know that they won't get through
And
because they're always after something that they've never seen before. It's the same with portrait artists.
twaddle as well, some of them.
I stopped watching portrait artists for the same reason, because when they were saying, "Oh, we're not after a real likeness," no, that this first prize is £200,000 portrait. If I was commissioning a £200,000 portrait, I'd want it to look like me or a better version of me, not some
Otherwise it's not a
random.
portrait, is it?
No.
Just paint something. It's just put an eye and nose on it. Or
Yeah.
two.
Well, it depends if you're doing it
Well,
like
so
Picasso,
yeah.
because you could just have one eye
Yeah, but he was
or
not
2 eyes on one. He was. Jacqueline, you've been busy, haven't you? Hopefully it will quieten down once you go.
Broke the shot. Did you see that?
No, what did they break?
The shelf fell off.
Which shelf?
The one with the pads.
Show me
Colour pads.
point to what on the
Down here.
gondola. Oh,
A man fixed it, don't worry.
how?
Just flipped off and then she couldn't reattach it.
But that's been up for 10 years.
Well,
Not anymore.
it is, it's a back.
Back up, okay.
It's been fixed.
Good. I might shove a bit of white in this as well randomly. Yeah. Just a bit of white just to make it a bit patchy. You've almost got to paint like you don't care. See you tomorrow.
Yes,
I don't think we've had an acrylic class this fall since COVID, have we?
and it's good.
Nice.
Right.
Oh,
See you
yeah.
now, boys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Ta-ra, Chuck.
Ta-ra. Bye. Bye. Joey.
I might add a bit of. I don't. You see, I don't want to add green because it's winter, isn't it? But there's sort of a yellowy green in there. But you might get that with a bit of black and yellow. But you know what? It doesn't matter, does it? Because it's your world.
Bob Ross says that.
Absolutely.
Oh, look.
That's the adult equivalent of One Blue Peter when they used to say, "Now I've had to rush this and haven't had time, but you'll have more time to do it better." It's all the same.
I watched him the other night, and it always makes me sad to think he's dead.
Yeah,
And how badly treated he was by the organisation. Yeah, Bob Ross Inc. They forced him on his deathbed to sign away his image and the rights to his name. And his son Steve Ross is a Bob Ross demonstrator, but he's now not allowed to do his own show with his name because Ross is owned by the Bob Ross Inc.
Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it was awful the way he was treated. There was a big documentary on Netflix about it. Really sad because I was, I've been painting a long time anyway, but when cable TV first came to the Midlands, Virgin Media it was, because we couldn't afford Sky. The Discovery Channel was showing the mid-90s was showing loads of joy of painting. And it was just magical to watch this guy with a massive afro, which wasn't real, do a painting in half an hour. It's just wonderful.
He never sticks his paint thingy, what do you call it?
His palette.
To his sleeve.
No,
I mean, he's always got a sleeve.
he's very clean, even when he beats the devil out of his brush.
I keep expecting him to get all this paint up his sleeve, and there's none. Yeah, and he loves beating his
Yeah,
brush.
beating his brush.
I think he's amazing.
But he'd already died by the time it had come to UK TV. But when I was sort of 17 in the late 90s, working in an art shop, we used to get loads of people going, "Have you got Bob Ross paint?" And I used to go, "Well, what do you think Bob Ross used to use before Bob Ross paint was invented?" So I showed them how to mix the paint to do a Bob Ross style. And we, it's not been that long in the making, but now since that documentary, there's loads of people are deliberately not buying the Bob Ross products because they don't agree with how he was treated in his last final months.
Again, it takes a documentary and the telly for people to stand up and say,
Yeah,
this isn't right.
absolutely.
I know, post office.
Yeah, I think they should make documentaries of everything, and then people might take action. Right. So it might be a bit purpley, it might be a bit browny, it might be a bit grey, it might be a bit green. It's all right. Everything's all right. It's all okay.
Happy little trees.
With their little friends.
We watch too much The right sort.
The
You
right
see,
sort,
the
yeah.
right sort. You see, my next door neighbour, when I was in my 20s, started watching The Joy of Painting, and he could only paint along with him. So at like 8 o'clock in the morning, you'd hear, because it's so quiet, and he was it's struggling to hear, so we'd got cranked the telly up so loud, so you'd have the Bob Ross blaring through the walls. No, it's better than having heavy metal or something, I suppose, having The Joy of Painting
Yeah.
blaring around.
Do we have to wait for that to dry before we go on to the next?
Nah.
So you're still dip-dabbing?
Well, do you know what? I'm being an adder
Yes.
because I'm just waiting, so I'm filling in time by dabbing, and I shouldn't dab.
No, I wish I hadn't done that just now because I was following you. I see, straight away. We got your.
You're blaming me straight away for your own actions. Am I holding your hand making you get into that paint?
Well, you
No.
started with a bit of black then.
I did. I did.
I put it on and it looked like coal now, and it stopped to sound like it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I ought to direct you, the two newcomers to the Just Adder, just in case you don't know what I'm on about.
See it.
Up there.
Oh. Right. Yeah.
I'll Just Adder. We don't Just Adder.
I have to stop myself. Because that's
Oh.
Yeah.
just the thing.
Yes.
It's all looking lovely, and then you go to add a bit and it's ruined. doesn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, while I remember, Barry, I've got a piece of cake coming with my.
Oh, you've ordered
That's the
cake.
lady. I heard someone order cake.
Uh-huh.
Mine
Were you
was
splashing out today, are you? Because you haven't been for it. When were you last here? Was it the Paint and Prosecco? That was your last one?
Yes, I think so. And there's one coming up shortly.
and we do it
End of the week.
Christmas. Is that a name?
End of the month.
Yeah, it's dangerous though, don't you think? Sharp knives and prosecco.
You all managed. You went home intact.
This time it was
Oh, the Lino Print Christmas.
things. It was snowmen and gingerbread men, but the one before was I loved mine. I have to say this one I didn't, the last one, but the other one was I did a parrot sitting in a tree.
Oh yeah,
Well, even though I don't say things like this, but it came out really fabulous.
it did.
My snowman was just total rubbish. But then they turned them into cars and they look really lovely.
Oh,
It
nice.
was 5 of us together. It
That's
was a
Lino,
nice
is it?
social.
Well, we do.
Socially.
Yeah, the Paint and Prosecco is a different thing each
Yeah.
month. So this month, most of them are full for the half of the year already. There's a couple where there's spaces, but this month
Town
is.
hall.
It was just one Christmas in the town hall
Alright.
because we'd got 40 odd people wanting to come to it. They're usually in the cafe, and it's Clarice Cliff ceramics thing.
I wanted to do that. I was too late.
I know there's so many full. I will do another one. I will do another
Can
one.
you let me know and put my name down as soon as you organise it?
Yeah,
I'll put my
I
name
will.
down.
I will. I will do that.
Very rowdy. It
I
gets
love
very
that.
rowdy.
Does it?
The more prosecco.
Oh, I bet.
Do you notice the determining factor in the rowdy lessons, Christine? At all?
No, Kathy is a star.
Oh.
Kathy is.
Right, what I want to do is, because I'll have to do the drinks order soon, I've still got a dirty brush here, so if I go in with a little bit of white on it, it'll make a sort of weird greyish colour, so I can stap in a little bit of snow in the background. If you've cleaned your brush, that's probably the wise thing to do. So just add a bit of black and brown to some white. A sludgy, snowy background bit.
That's white and black and brown.
Yeah, I haven't cleaned my brush from whatever's up there, because you know what a riffy pig I am.
Mine's too light.
But look how dark the snow is in the background in the photo though, Christine.
Cold coloured, is it? Not on a slag heap.
But you can lighten it. This is the thing. It's not like with watercolour and what have you where you're kind of stuck. You can create anything.
It's really strange, Barry, because I cannot see the colour in that. Because I know snow's white, I
Yeah.
can't get past it.
No, it's tricky, isn't it? But when you look, there's hardly...
grey.
Yeah, there's hardly any white at all in this
Not gonna do
picture.
those snowdrops white, you know that, don't
No,
you?
I bet
some we'll do a little bit. Don't give away all my excitement, Christine. Yeah, burnt sienna's a funny colour because it goes. It's a dark orange red, so it can really change the colour, and it can go a bit pinky. So we're just stabbing around a bit, really. So when you go back to Solihull, they'll say, what have you been? Oh, I've just been stabbing around a bit with some paint. So do you go to a group or anything where you are? Is it tutor-led or is it fend for yourself?
Well, it is tutor-led, but we feel as though we're being led. I don't know.
We fend for ourselves, really.
Yes,
Yeah.
But we do pay a lot for a teacher.
Yeah,
We
they.
don't learn anything.
No, it's sad. I took over an adult education group in the Midlands because I used to lecture for the WEA, and I was introduced to it as an advanced watercolour group. So when I went to meet the students, so it was all adult education. I'm gonna have to switch to a small brush because I need to go around me snowdrops a bit better with this snow. And the first thing they said to me is, "Do you actually demonstrate?" And I looked like I was like, "Well, yes, of course I demonstrate. I'm a tutor. I can't be a tutor if I don't tute." Oh, I'm always tuting me. And I thought that was a bit odd. So the first week I'd prepared an advanced watercolour session, and I looked around the room and none of them had a clue at what I was saying. Literally none of them. And I said, I don't really understand. This is an advanced watercolour. How long have you been meeting? Oh, 10 years. And I said, but you don't know any. And I said, can I just ask how has the lessons gone? Because like with the WEA, it's government funded, so everything you have to have lesson plans, reports, proper stuff. And I said, how has that gone? And they said, oh well, we've never seen our tutor paint, and she used to just bring photocopies of her work for us to copy from. So we never knew any techniques. And I said, but how did that pass the in-house inspection, like Ofsted? Oh, she used to lock the doors, turn the lights off and tell us to be quiet. And then it all made sense. So what was interesting about that group is that I then went and did a 10-week beginner's watercolour course. And what I found is they knew how to do it, but they just didn't know what the different techniques were called because they'd stumbled upon doing the techniques themselves. But what was amazing was after that, we were able to go out to National Trust properties because they'd suddenly got the confidence because they knew what it was called and they knew how to do the stuff. Yeah. They felt so free. It was wonderful, but really sad that they'd spent 10 years not actually learning anything. And paying, a decent amount of money. So yeah, it is sad.
How on earth did they do it, Harry? Because I can't imagine if I wasn't watching it.
Yeah, but if you don't know any better, if that's the first lesson you've ever done, you just presume all courses are like that, don't you? And it's not until you're face to face with a creative genius like me that you realise it's like the veils have been lifted from your eyes. You're reborn. God, I took some rubbish, didn't I, Rosemary? That's it. Bite your tongue, Leslie. Bite your tongue.
We've been coming 25 years, that's
All right.
the measure of it, yeah.
Really?
No.
Honestly, I'm very gullible, as you can tell.
No.
How long have you been coming for, Christine? How long does it feel versus how long you've been coming for?
I was going to say, because when was the pandemic? It was the first time.
It's got to be at least 2 years. At least 2 years when you came in with your foot in plaster.
All the different guises of injury.
Yeah.
Well, it was 20. Yes, it's about 3 years, isn't it?
3 years. Yeah.
So I can't be called new anymore. So I've got to make other excuses now.
But you can see I'm not a very formal tutor.
Oh,
But I do like to pass on a lot. And interestingly, you do learn almost above degree level stuff with me. I had a student that came to a colour mixing day who was doing a foundation degree in art. She'd already done 2 years. And she said to me at lunchtime, I've learnt more this morning on colour theory with you than I have at uni. And, you know, I only spent 55 quid and I got lunch today, you know, kind of thing. And goodness knows how much the degree costs, which is really sad.
yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
We've never really mixed colours in class
No.
like this, have we?
Oh, really?
We just left to do it ourselves.
Oh.
And we haven't a clue.
No, that's really sad.
No.
That is sad, but it happens a lot. We get a lot of students that have come from other groups. We don't poach anyone, and I'm not a precious tutor. There are some that are very precious, and they don't like their students going elsewhere.
He's
But
putting a show on today. He rules with a rod of iron.
only to the naughty ones, Christine. And it's a shame that you know, so many people don't get the chance that, you know, if you spent years going to a group and you think that's the only thing, it can put you off going to other places, can't it?
And there's not a lot of choice in Solihull. This is why we've stuck with where we
Yeah.
go. There's very little.
You see, the problem is because there's not a lot of money in doing it. You know, a village hall will cost, like, if it's a 3-hour session, that will cost like 50 quid now. So it's really hard to get your money's worth out of it. We do one in Wardington, and some weeks I've only got 5 students. That only pays for the village hall. It doesn't pay for me to be there for 3 hours. But other weeks we've got 9 or 10 students, so it kind of works out. And here we used to do a weekly acrylic class after COVID because we were so busy. But then most of the students didn't come back, and sometimes it's just been me and Kathy or me and Christine, and it's not really cost effective. I mean, when you factor in rent and energy bills and all of that kind of stuff, and if I was paying a tutor to be here, each lesson costs about 80 quid just for the shell of it, and if I've only got 2 students, that doesn't cover me at all. So we've gone fortnightly in the hope that for the acrylics that we can build up. Well, you know, I used to do a lot of touring groups and stuff, but because we do like 40 classes a month here now, I haven't got time. I'm literally stuck to this chair all my life. I mean, for example, this week, I know. Monday morning I was teaching in Wardington. Monday night I was here. Today I'm here. Tonight I'm here. Tomorrow I'm here. I've got a class in the afternoon. Thursday I've got a morning and an afternoon class. Friday I've got an afternoon class. And Saturday I'm here, but I'm in the shop for all of that time. But then I'm singing. I've got a gig on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night.
You sing?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Um,
Really?
Yeah.
very, very.
Well, I'm at Primrose Hill.
What do you say?
Old stuff. I'm a crooner, so
Oh,
Frank
okay.
Sinatra, Rat Pack,
fabulous.
all of that.
Nat
All
King
Nat
Cole.
King Cole. So BEAU Norton. So I've got I've got a gig at Primrose Hill Farm on Valentine's evening, where it's a swanky wedding venue restaurant, and then it's lovely, isn't it? They've got a Valentine's thing, so they've got like a tapas for.
The food's really nice.
Well, it's the chef. It's the chef that I've been there a few times, and there's a tapas thing in the lounge area or a 6-course proper meal in the restaurant. So I don't know where they're going to shove me this time. I sang there at Christmas 2 years in a row, once in the bar and once in the restaurant. So it's quite good. And then on Friday, straight after work, I'm at a retirement home round the corner that I'm singing at, or a residential. What are they called when it's just not assisted living, but when there's loads of no, they're not. They're not care. It's just sort of like loads of people. It's like a flat apartment complex, sheltered accommodation. It's swankier than that.
No, it's
Residential home. Residential home. In Bath Road. I've been there a few times. This is my third or fourth time there.
We did our anniversary last year. It was our 50th wedding anniversary
I
last year.
did.
And he came in and did a couple of hours, and it was just, it made me cry actually.
That's nice.
Most people, I make a lot of people cry, but not all, not always for the right reasons.
I might leave
For all the
today
wrong
crying.
reasons,
Even the young
yeah.
people, even the young
If it's not their
people, the
eyes,
youngsters there.
it's their ears
And they were all
bleeding.
listening and singing along because they all knew the songs.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was just
it was the same
wonderful.
about
A
Nice thing.
couple of
I've painted the
requests, special songs, and oh, it was
rectify
wonderful.
that a bit better.
Really,
So with,
it was wonderful.
with acrylics,
Yeah.
well, I did very lightly drawing,
Yeah.
Did the
but in the past I've always found
switch on the
you
Christmas
know,
lights.
Oh,
to get rid
really?
of the pencil marks sometimes it's very difficult, even if it's
It is, and it will depend. I mean, obviously with this, because we're going really dark, you can. But a really interesting thing, and this is a good learning thing. Tim's just asked, with pencil in acrylics, how do you get rid of it? What they used to do, so if I've got a pencil line here, back in the Renaissance when they did oils,
yeah.
what would happen on gessoed panels?
Yeah.
Are you alright? Would you like some water? Do you want a glass of water?
Yeah,
Because
please.
I can't really have anyone choking. I'm not insured for choking.
Sorry.
Which bits to do on here, isn't it?
Through the middle, they're hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because you lose.
Does it really matter? I suppose you can play.
Oh, I'm sorry, Darren. Thank
That's
you.
alright, don't worry. So what they'd do is, if they'd be working in charcoal, not graphite, and then they'd sketch it, if you think about it, and if they put white oil on the top, then that would become grey.
Yeah.
So what they did is they used a silver stylus, but an embossing tool works, and then they'd go over the area that they wanted
Right.
to keep, dust the rest off with a feather,
Yeah.
but even with a putty eraser, look,
Yeah.
and where you've embossed, it
Stays.
stays.
Right.
So you're almost trapping the graphite into the surface, and then no matter what you do, you can't smudge it, you can't do anything with it. So
Yeah.
that's a really good way.
But
You
then
just
How will that disappear if it's
well,
white?
generally it's because you're painting more opaque. If you're doing a transparent wash with acrylics, then you'd have to paint really lightly so you can barely see what's going on.
I have done watercolours,
Yeah,
but watercolours it must be.
yeah, very light drawing. Yeah, very light drawing.
Well, I have
Yeah.
done watercolours, but I haven't any.
Yeah, it's a very very light a light wash with colour. So imagine just some runnier white,
Oh, good.
just to get a little bit of texture. Well, that's good if you've already done it. I'm just catching up with you, Kathy. It's because of Christine, isn't it? She's gone gung ho.
Gone right.
Christine's finished half an hour ago.
No, I'm not. That's just like.
She'll be starting on Kathy's soon, so watch it, Kathy. She just sees a body of paint and a bit of paper and she's away.
I'm trying to work out which is background. It's always the case, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, it's kind of all background, isn't it? Apart from,
Round the
Yeah,
well,
really dark.
which bit is
which is background and which is flower. The thing is, because it's acrylics and it's opaque, it doesn't matter. Because you'll find out, you'll have a random stem. We did a drawing class years ago with two elephants standing next to each other, and the palaver we had about working out whose leg was which, who was it attached to, was it attached at all? I think that'll do. Right, I'm going to go and make the, well, I'm not going to make the drinks. I'll take the drinks order to Kathy. She'll make the drinks. You won't want mine. Sharon, what would you like to drink?
Hot chocolate,
You
please.
can. Steve?
This is like that's
Flat white. Leslie?
Tea, please.
Tea?
what's that stick?
Our two ladies, I've forgotten your names.
Alison and Julie.
Alison and Julie.
I'm gonna have. I'm gonna copy you.
They do oatmeal.
Yeah.
Could have an oatmeal latte.
Oat
Just an
latte.
oatmeal coffee.
I know flat white or something.
Yeah, that would be lovely if that was.
Could I have an oat milk latte, please?
Christine.
Oat latte, please.
Kathy?
Can I have a flat white but only one shot, please?
Green.
Right, so
Yeah.
Tim?
That white thing.
Flat.
It's continuous blue.
Right, I'll be back in a bit,
No.
and then we'll do more stuff.
see, I've
In
got that
got
bit
just
there.
over an hour.
You see,
Can we do it?
okay, we went upstairs. There's a triple basket full of crochet knitted stuff.
Yes,
And
yeah.
we
Getting really
and that's
boring.
doing
That's got
napkin
to be
knitters on a
enough
Wednesday.
there.
There's 6 or 7 of us sitting on the big table.
I'm just going to
What,
put
here?
it up
Yeah.
afterwards.
And
Or I'm
we
going to make my
crochet,
petals
well
wider.
they knit, I crochet. And make
Yeah,
pom-poms.
I think it's got a heavy white.
All different things through the year, you know, for different things coming out.
anymore.
And then the money, people put a donation
Well,
in
yours is all organised.
for every, you know, they can buy them,
So,
they put a
I
donation
know
in
I've
box.
got
And it goes
that's
to the
a
napkin
petal,
wall,
that's
and
a
it's
petal, really
a
badly
lady
done.
who
That's the petal, yeah. And
I
then
found,
you've
I
got
can't
this
remember,
one.
it says on the
That's
brochure.
right. But it's
And
that bit
she's
there
turned her back
is a
garden
petal.
into a hospital for,
But
it was
doesn't matter, you
originally
just haven't got a petal.
just hedgehogs,
Yeah.
but now she
Oh.
takes
I think.
all sorts.
What is
And
this stick?
it's like a she's a,
Well, that's the bit
veterinary
I
nurse,
haven't actually.
but
This
she
bit
does
here,
this
look.
herself
Yeah,
in her own
I
house.
haven't traced that
And
in.
so I mean we,
I think I've done the top
I think
bit,
the
so
first
I
year
need
he
to
did
add
it.
in.
I've only been doing it 2 years,
down
the
here
first
when
year
I
we did
painted
it.
it.
They raised over
Because
£1,000
I
just in
missed that bit.
donations, well that went towards
So that's that
feed
bit,
and
isn't it?
stuff,
That's,
you know, and
yeah, so
and
that
medical stuff
stick
that
is
she
actually
needs.
just
So
overlapping
it's
that
really
petal.
lovely, and we have a great
Yes,
time.
not
It
yeah,
doesn't stop
it's like
talking.
curled over
We're in
like
for
that,
about
isn't it?
2.5, 3 hours and
Yeah,
just knit,
no, it's all very
crochet, chat most of the time, do crossword,
That's white
and
and
sort of
yeah.
really nice. And in the meantime, we
What
earn
is
some
that?
money for
That's a petal.
But
Oh,
it's
you've got
so
I
lovely
have
things.
got
Oh, that's
Really
nice.
I have the
Wildlife have got to be helped.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we're big animal lovers, aren't
We
we?
are.
That should
Yeah.
be. I've
In fact,
that's
Winter
wrong.
Watch, they were
Well,
doing
I've got
unsung heroes.
Oh, yes.
So I
I
emailed them
so you see he's got it very
and put her name forward. I don't know whether she got it or not. I think we'd have heard by now if she did. But at least she gets known.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
That's green.
But it's wonderful, and we do what we enjoy.
Door.
One lady doesn't knit, but she buys all the little eggs to go in the baskets we make, and you know the Easter eggs and things.
Oh, yes.
So it's really good fun. It
Got a
gives
bit
us
of white over
Oh,
the
that's a
top.
win-win then, isn't it?
yeah, it's really good.
White,
Christmas is we sell hundreds of pounds of stuff, and then people come in and say, "That's a good idea. Can we do so and so?" Like the lady who asked me to make a carrot bunting for her tattoos parlour upstairs.
A carrot bunting.
Yeah, but they were proper.
Some of those
They were
petals got shadows on
stuffed
them.
carrots,
Oh.
all different sizes, about 25 of them hanging on her wall. It's so funny.
Have you ever been in a class with the lady who knits boots? Might have to go through
Fantastic, actually. Even though
Yeah,
it's upstairs, they came
all
out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was most impressed when I saw them hanging out. I thought
Big
she
difference,
I thought
isn't
she
it?
was the maddest. And
Have
everybody
you-
did. You don't want to do
Have you been in the class where the lady knits boots and she knits boots?
No, I haven't been in that one.
It's
This is
prosthetics.
yeah, this.
But you can go online
That's
then if you can get registered and what have you.
No, this is just on a Wednesday where we do the napkin ward.
Yeah,
Napkin
because
knitters.
I buy all those bits now.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's what I do. I do it with the other ladies who do it tomorrow.
Because she was fantastic. You know, it's all out to different cotton blue, doing
Yeah.
it for different sizes or
That's
where
right.
there's two and everything. And they say they don't rub as much.
No, because she uses very soft cotton as well, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
yeah.
No, they're wonderful.
And it's such a weird thing listening to friends who like do knitting boots, you know, but it's all in a good cause.
If they need
It
you.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. This looks so rubbish because it's colour.
And try not to be too precious.
Lack of detail.
Sorry?
That's me having a lack of detail.
I mean, it's bad, isn't it?
White really.
I know, it looks so
I think it's
And then you splodge something on it and regret it. So I'm bringing my great granddaughter tomorrow. She sort of creates havoc.
how old is she?
She's 5.
Oh.
Yeah. She loves it.
This is splodgy, I've
done much acrylic. I quite like it actually.
Oh yeah, you can paint over stuff. That's the good
Well,
bit.
that's what we wanted.
Yes.
You can't get rid of
We
it.
do a lot of watercolour
Yeah.
and
But
it's
it's
just
hard.
snow and
Yeah. Oh, his classes are nice ones.
A couple of
she's got
stems.
such good sense
Look
of
at
humour.
those. That's good.
I know.
That's beautiful colours.
Look at the Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah.
He did that one for, one he did for Jubilee and one he did for when she died.
He did one for the coronation as well. It was like the king was sort of leaning through. It looked like he was leaning through the window.
Oh yes, he
Looking
did
through the
that.
window,
Yeah,
it was lovely.
Looking out, yeah,
Yeah,
because
it
he
was
sang
wonderful.
outside in the street.
He did,
And
yeah.
we did stupid dancing with our dogs outside, and he had this Prince Charles looking out the window.
King Charles.
King Charles.
He was king by then, I think, wasn't he? Nearly.
Does he do calligraphy as well?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's anything. It doesn't hurt.
No.
So
We did glass painting on one of our Prosecco things. We've done sculpture. We did one time. Oh, he does everything.
Yeah. Bloody.
Calligraphy is
Calligraphy.
beautiful.
So he does classics.
Oh, and he gives
Yeah.
art history talks. Yeah. We did Michelangelo the other week, which he knew so many things. Did you know that David, the statue, was started by somebody else? And it was on a faulty piece of marble. So this younger person who picked the stone couldn't do it. So it was another artist took it over. He couldn't do it. So he had to take over and make David with his sculpture. You see, this is told you all
No.
these things. And did you know that he didn't class himself as a painter? Poet. He's a poet.
Good God.
Yes. And there are books of poems of his. Barry read some out. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Alright.
Yes, I was trying to get to his
This is him.
Close Cliff one, and I didn't get in
I'm
there
just
in
going to
time.
find,
Oh, it's booked.
Painting, yeah, the painting China.
see if I can get them sing. I've got one of my photos.
I'm trying to get the shadow in where the
Oh, isn't it beautiful?
remember we were talking about shadows and
Oh,
all that.
Yeah.
Shadows of the blue.
Put my elbow in the
Yeah.
blue. Oh, it's gone all.
No,
it's
it's my excuse
no.
for smudging it.
Oh, you can paint over that in a minute. It's alright, I do this all the time. There must be one where it's.
I love the colours that the top bit's coming out.
I've just been dabbing now, get a new one. I do this every, because I'm left-handed, I just seem to just put my
Drag
arm
it
in it
through.
and drag it through every time.
Yeah, I wore an old cardigan, the one coursing it on before. I've got the remains.
Oh, was that from the
Acrylic paws.
Yes.
Actually, there is a bit of
Yeah, we
blur.
did
It's
it
not
in the
loose
next one.
blur in the
Yeah.
sky, but it is extraordinary. Oh, this was his. You got it. That's a wonderful voice, isn't it? You just wanted to tell it.
Right,
You just want singing in Italian.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to be allowed
yeah.
there.
They're just so talented, aren't
You
they?
can't believe that voice just comes out. He doesn't do any straining or stressing.
He needs to serenade us all,
Yeah.
They've got mud down the bottom,
Yeah. And he dresses in all the
Right, that's what he
proper
said.
1940s gear, trilby, all that, and his
Oh, he had
music
uniform,
box.
didn't he, with a moustache and a...
Oh, it was fun
Oh, yes,
when he
he's-
did the air when he went to an aerodrome.
That's
where they
right.
were singing, and he was dressed like a
An
soldier,
officer.
an officer. And did you see the trailer for that? On Instagram, whatever it was. It was in black and white, like an old film,
Oh,
with
yes,
all the
yes.
crackles all over
Yes, it was
and he was
wonderful.
answering the phone, and he was actually giving the information out by answering the phone.
talking to Churchill.
Yes.
He had a message from Winston Churchill. He was talking to him, pretending me, obviously.
Yes.
So it was really good.
Yeah,
It
it's a very
just
good one.
He's really good,
Yeah.
and he's wonderful to listen to.
Yeah. It's
He busks, doesn't he? He goes outside and
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, and then when we went to do our organise our, when we've been coming to lessons for 2 years, and we've known him for the last 3 years, and I didn't know he sang, and we were up at the Cromwell organising our party, and I said, oh yeah, we're thinking of having Barry to sing. Oh, isn't he the one that stands on the street and sings and busks? And I just no idea.
because at
Beautiful.
Christmas he did it for the shoppers.
Yeah.
Christmas shoppers walking about.
Wonderful.
And the police car came down here and they gave him the thumbs up out of the window.
Oh yeah, because they know him, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
But yeah, because I've got 2 doggies and we dance the doggies, all around the doggies because there's somebody else who's got dogs as well. So yeah, there's all sort of madness as well. But it's lovely the prosecco evenings are really, because we make some really wonderful things. Not some
But did he say they get very booked up?
Right,
Yes.
this is a game of 3 arms.
So there was me, my
You're
daughter,
an old flat
my
white, aren't you?
granddaughter, and my daughter's 2
I'm
friends.
a
I'm a one-shot flat.
You're an old
Such
flat
a
white.
light.
You're a
And
one-shot
my
flat
car, I
white.
wasn't drinking, so they were
One-shot, one.
well on the way, and they all got their own
You were
bottle as
flat
well.
white.
Oh, yes.
So it was just such fun. It was such family fun.
Were you a flat
Yes.
white?
That's me.
You were a flat white.
Thanks, Barry.
You were a tea.
I was a teen, thank you. No, it was such fun. Oh, I bit my.
We don't even get a coffee out of that.
No, we don't. We get nothing, do we? No, don't get any singing.
Be careful because I usually put mine near the water and I dip my
Yeah.
my
Your
watercolour
coffee.
brush in my tea.
How many times has that happened?
Yes, that's happened many times. What is that next to you? Is it a
Have you
gorilla?
seen him on there?
No.
No, somebody's,
Did I
no,
follow his
somebody's clip.
paintings?
Oh yes.
Go forward.
I'm glad it's not a
No,
gorilla.
sit forward a minute. Go forward. Doesn't that look like a head sticking out at the side of that sleeve? It's all right, thank you.
It'd
Thank
be
you.
really shocking if it was a gorilla.
Yeah. I thought maybe he dresses up as well. He's got all of his lots of stuff downstairs for sale as well as prints.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
cards and things,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've had a little coming up. We saw some of the pictures.
Yes.
You know the yellow bits on your the sky? Have you added them after, or did you do them as you were going
I
along?
just added them after.
Can you just keep adding to acrylic?
Yeah. Yeah, just keep on and on and on. As long as it's dry, otherwise it goes with it.
Right, yes, it needs to let it dry a bit first.
Yeah, let it
Yeah,
rest.
not like
You want it to water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to blend it in
Not,
and
I would say not bone dry because you want it to blend a little bit. But I'm no expert. This is only my first acrylics lesson. We've been having a go at.
Oh, right.
Oh.
It's been quite funny. There we
Because
are.
you can paint with acrylics really thin, can't you? You can do it
Yeah.
almost like a watercolour thin, with a lot of water with it.
I tell you, you can water it down.
Yeah, and gouache,
Oh.
yeah.
Have you done gouache?
We've done gouache once, haven't we? But only once.
We've
I
been
don't know
going,
what the difference
how many
is.
years have we been going for?
Gouache
Two-
is
two-
when we were doing
2.5.
watercolour. If was it gouache we used the white?
Mainly
If we wanted to put a highlight on the trees, he'd give us a tiny bit of white gouache, and it's more opaque than watercolour.
Oh, okay.
So we just brushed it on to make highlights on the trees, which made it a little bit.
Never done oil.
But I'm
No.
no expert.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
embroider and I sew. I do not paint.
If you have a look at his, have you seen his leaflet?
He puts up with a lot of
No,
things.
no, only online. I've seen it where it's got all the workshops and everything. Yeah.
You see how many classes he does?
I know.
And then when he's got his gigs at night as well.
Then
it's-
has it
Oh.
all.
I let it dry and then paint that bit white.
Yeah. I have just put a change now. Rinse.
Well, I went down to a small brush
No,
to
it's
do the outline round the flowers.
I thought we're not going to do integrate now, are we? Have you got a rag or a shame now? I've got one there.
Just use the big brush. All I did was use a big brush, clean, put yellow on it, mix some yellow, and just swirl it. No, I just pasted it backwards and forwards. see, it's probably gone very dry now, your
Yeah.
background.
You can get it
I
really,
like-
wet, you know, and
Yeah.
twist it. Do you like
It's
that?
gone a funny colour now.
It has.
Do you like that?
I'll be
I
Just
wouldn't
do it
bother.
dabby dabby. Just bring it
To
down.
do the whole background.
Just look, just do dabby
Yeah.
dabby like that.
Yeah, I just grab the brush and just, I'm
Just let yourself
splash
be
it on
free.
all over.
Yeah, just like that, just like that.
Mm.
You don't have to colour it like when you're painting room.
no.
Do you do watercolours?
We do more of that and pastels. She likes pastels. We quite like pastels because we can do it to a degree. But watercolours we struggle.
It's the apparently it's the hardest medium,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is.
But she keeps doing them, doesn't she?
She does. And what she does is she wants you to pay for the Zoom. She does a Zoom class.
Mm.
And she used to include the Zoom recording free. And now she's got a bit naughty really. And she's charging more. And she wants you to pay for the Zoom as well.
Oh no.
So you
And
hardly get any tuition before your class.
That's better, isn't it? Just
Oh,
just
that looks
flick
nice.
it. Just flick it sideways.
Yeah.
Just sideways. That's it.
Like
That's
that.
it. Just
The side of the
Do you know what? I'm going down to my white paper there. What
That's
does that
alright,
mean?
well it doesn't
Right.
matter.
Doesn't it?
Just-
No, look, look at the picture. It's all white here on there.
It's all
on the
mixed
picture.
up.
It's
It
all
doesn't
mixed
matter.
up.
It's all your interpretation. No, we you say the reason we did it was because my daughter kept saying, "Don't keep telling me you can't do it. You've not tried."
Yeah.
And when you've tried, then you can tell me.
Yeah, that's fair
So I
enough.
said to her, right, well, I'm telling you now, I can't paint. And I enjoyed the fun of it.
It's fun, yes.
But I end up in tears because I had a father who everything had to be done perfect, and if you're not going to do it perfect, don't bother.
Oh, that was,
She and
yeah.
I had him on my shoulder all the time.
Oh, yeah.
My dad
And
was
it's getting in a terrible state
Oh,
of
no,
perfectionist.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
No,
Thank
his-
you very
his
much.
best thing was, do it properly. If you can't do it, don't bother at all. And
Oh,
that's totally the wrong attitude.
yeah, because you're frightened of trying anything then, aren't
And,
you?
and if you do and you do it wrong, all I could hear was him.
Oh, like
Anything I
criticising.
do, yeah.
Oh.
My sister below me, my brother above me, both of them paint so come out. My younger sisters more me. We crochet, we sew, we embroider, we do.
Fine.
And that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's artistic. But it was just fun, and we both said, right, let's have a go. And I'm enjoying this more than watercolour for me. I was out of control with watercolour. It cauliflowered and it.
Oh, yes, it's the
And you've got
cauliflower.
nice-
Isn't it?
It is.
But my dad was a perfectionist. He never criticised anything I did, but he
Mine
did
looks
like
like
it
a
got
bit
rid of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it properly. If not, don't do it at all.
I think once we paint the snowdrops, it'll all.
And as I say, a couple of times I've sat here and
Because I'd imagine you doing this like a purpley colour.
Steve knew what was going on in my head. And I just can't get it out of there. That voice is going to be
No,
there.
yeah.
Mine's not going to work as well, is it?
Oh, we're all getting a bit.
No, because I haven't been for ages and I live for this cake.
Carrot cake.
Gluten-free. Gluten-free.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, big easy. Well, they're all my favourites.
Is it? You're a ball man, lover.
I'm a baller.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kathy, you biscuiting?
You've got the mouth.
Are you connoisseur?
I might go for a little malted milk
Oh,
chocolate.
splash out a bit. You're alright. You won't want a biscuit today, then, Christine.
No, I'll just go with the cake.
Are you sure that's enough? Right.
See,
I'm back. That took ages. So many of you. I'm going to fill my bottom in now. Some of you may have done this already, and that's okay.
I thought you'd already said do it.
I'm going to make a purple.
Where's that stuff?
So blue, red. I'm sort of having my foreground a bit purplish. My underpainting. But I'll do some other colours on top of this, but
this is big brush.
yeah. You want a bit more blue than red, Otherwise, it'll look like there's been a massacre.
Red and red.
Very hot
I
red.
can't get around it. Barry hasn't said it.
What?
I
The
just can't get
no.
around that.
Is it more blue in it or
Mm,
more? Yeah,
more blue.
Because what is it? Red is a very hungry colour.
It is.
What does that mean?
It eats a lot of colour.
Yeah, it's ready for the down.
When you mix the red, it just eats everything else up.
Did you put white in that, have you?
A little bit, yeah. But this is only the underpainting. It's kind of the opposite in you see, it's the opposite to watercolour because you can put your darks on first this time. So we might end up covering most of this up.
So that's red and blue.
And a little bit of white, yeah.
Ah, okay.
More blue.
Counterintuitive, is that the right way of saying it?
Mm-hmm. That's very nice, Leslie. Yes, it's a lovely phrase.
Not right. But it feels wrong. So you see, this is what I'm finding strange about it. You've got to put a background and then you just cover it over with other colours.
Yeah, so a little bit shines through. Like with watercolour, what we'd do is we'd leave the paper white and then add the purple blitz in.
Yeah.
But this way, you've got a bit more control. And actually, it's almost like how dimples are because they're already down first, so the white layer is in front, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
So the way I do it, and it might work for you, Leslie, if you struggle, is I squint at the picture and that kind of diffuses the tones. Or you can make yourself something like that, which is a piece of white card with a hole in. And then when you hover it over your copy, yeah, I mean, look at the,
Yeah, it's not white, is it?
none of it's white, even that's not white.
Oh yes, you did this on one of your...
Yeah, it's amazing though, isn't it? Just a bit of white card makes a huge
Yes, it
difference. So all it is white card with a hole in it, and then when you're hovering it over, you can see that there's actually
No white.
even things that you think are white aren't white, and it's a good way to match up.
In I go.
And if you have two, what you can do is you can match up the same area on your painting to check if you've got the tone right, you know. And usually you're not dark enough. That's generally the
Did you say blue and red?
blue and red with a little bit of white, but more blue than red. Well, it's new to you, isn't it?
It is, we're just not used to mixing. This is what we've criticised on
Yeah.
for a while. We're not learning.
We don't know the basics.
You know.
Well, you have to come
We
here
spent
more
a-
often.
We will.
Yes.
We will.
How far is it?
Solihull. It takes about 45
Oh,
minutes.
That's nothing, is
God,
it?
nothing.
I know, but after a glass of prosecco, it might hurt.
Well, choose who's from. So do you live near each other?
Well, I'd still. One little one would be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Just the one.
Still believe it's
Just
just
under
the one.
the table, couldn't they? Find them under the table next morning.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
covered it, smeared in paint.
Yeah.
Bottles of prosecco
That's
along the
such a
floor.
good time. Why not?
This'll it'll all change.
Come out in the wash.
But it's probably going to be 2 more layers on this, but
Yeah. I'm trying to put white on the top. Yeah. Dab dab. Dab dab like that. Yeah. And go over it again, dab dab. Don't you think? Yeah.
dab dab.
Later.
I'm just tutoring over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shall we start doing the class in Solihull?
you won't cope with her.
Well, I'm not very good at all. Just haven't come in a long time. Making zero progress.
You have made a lot of. Think of your bovine bear. We did a bear running through the woods
Oh dear.
in acrylics, didn't we, Christine?
I drew a really good bear.
And then painted a really good cow.
It doesn't look like a cow or a spotty dog.
Oh.
What do you call them? What
Dalmatian.
Dalmatian.
No.
What?
And I goes where there's a black one and a white one? On
And
the
the-
wrist.
A what?
Scotty dog.
Scotty dog.
Oh,
Oh, like a Scotch and a Westie.
Dalmatian.
So yeah,
Laughing.
so we called it a bovine bear because it was neither bear nor cow.
The best was my first watercolour that looked like a brood. It just went like that.
You've come on a long way. You have come on a long way.
It took me up watercolour for a year, didn't it?
It did.
I don't think we do is watercolour pencil.
Right, what I'm going to do is I need to mix a little bit more of this, and I'm going to add a tiny little bit of black and a little bit more white. So basically it's sort of a purple grey, and what we're going to do with that, I'm using a round brush, and we're just going to put some of the darks in the petals while it's all drying.
Is this the round brush, Barry?
Yes.
So it's a round brush.
Yeah, which is pointed. It makes no sense.
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, yours is a nice fluffy one.
Oh, I up. We're on it now.
Barry knows it's nice what colour do you do it, Barry?
Purple with a bit of black. And it's just, we're going to go over this. We are going to go over it again. But this is just to give shadow. So it's a little bit greyer than your snowy bottom.
And where are we putting it? On the petal?
Yeah, where your dark bits are. And again, you can sort of squint. But we're going to, this is only an underpainting. We're not going to worry too much about it.
Oh my god. Clash of brushes there. Left and right. Did you see that portrait artist of the year where they were out in that blazing sun? And the
No.
paint was just drying as fast as they could.
Well, it's interesting. In some countries, you see, they don't work in acrylics or watercolour. They nearly all do pastels or oils because just how fast it dries. So this is just an underpainting. Don't panic. You can do some or all of your petals or just bits, and it will improve. Would I lie to you? Well, it depends if you've paid, really.
Under the guise of something else.
Absolutely. Rosemary and Diane online, how are you doing? I forgot to say to our newcomers that I'm not holding a seance, that I am actually talking to real life people that do exist.
And the birds aren't real, by the way.
No, the birds
We
aren't.
did once,
Yeah.
the first time I came, I said to Stephen, listen to those birds. Then I found out they.
So everything's a fake. Everything's a charade in this room.
It's to relax you.
I'm not even here.
No, you're a.
A hydro, what do you call it?
A
Hologram.
That's it.
Yeah, we started with the birdsong during lockdown with our online classes, and everyone found it so restful and calming that I've just carried on with it. And also, it's a good way because we occasionally, even though this is the second largest town in Oxfordshire, we have awful internet in the town centre. So by having the birdsong on, the online students know, like now I'm not touching my board, so they could think the screen is frozen. But because the birdsong is on, they know it hasn't frozen. I'm just not touching it. Because there used to be times where I was having to like drum my fingers like this when just so it shows that I was still there.
Seems so odd now, doesn't it, lockdown?
Oh, you know, I did say to Jackie though I wouldn't mind a couple of months just at home again, because I miss my house. I don't see it anymore.
Is that the round brush? Sorry.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Thank you.
With acrylics, is it very difficult to get the edges really?
You have to dilute it.
Right.
But the hardest thing with that is, and Rosemary, I know you'll back me up with this, is getting it dilute enough, but still with enough paint.
to actually.
So you need quite a lot of paint to start with to then dilute down, because otherwise it becomes really transparent, which it's going to, because you're reducing the pigment load.
Yeah.
And what is frustrating is that's almost impossible to teach, because it's something that you'll learn eventually. So do you feel you've already learnt a lot this afternoon? Good answer. You can come again.
No, we've really enjoyed it. Yeah. The classes actually are 2 big ones we go to.
They're massive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
She
they're
must have
making
well
money
over
back.
20, hasn't
She's
she?
having an extension at the moment, and we're sure we're paying for it.
Yes.
Or does she have it at, what is it, someone's house?
No, she hires a hall.
Oh.
Hires a hall.
How
It's
many?
a little, like a Dad's Army hall.
Oh yeah. How many of you go?
At least 20.
Oh,
Making money, Barry.
I'd
Making
She
money.
does
Oh.
loads, and I tell you, she does lots of classes. You ought to get into,
yeah. You'll have
competition with
to message me who she is, so I can have a look.
her. Yeah.
I'll stalk her for a bit.
You might know her.
I don't know that many people. I only know is it Solihull? Oh, where Angela's from? She's not called Angela, is she?
No.
No, there's a lovely lady called Angela Gorn, who's one of the top Derwent demonstrators for the UK. Mainly does animal painting. She's a friend of mine, and I don't know if she's Solihull or she's certainly that way. And she does a lot of watercolour pencils and acrylics and all of that kind of thing up that way. I haven't seen her in a good few years.
We've been on a couple of courses. What have we been on 2? No, just one. Jane Water.
No.
But she was very good.
Oh yeah, she was good.
But we had to travel for that. But
Yeah.
it wasn't quite like this. It was we're enjoying this, aren't we?
Yes.
I think sometimes the step by step's good. I mean, I've got students that have been coming for 10 or 11 years, and it's just as they enjoy the company and they enjoy, not being told what to do, but it just takes a lot of the stress off of you, because if you're at home and you think, I want to paint something, but I don't know what, and then you find a picture, well, I don't know how to do it, how do I start, what colours do I need, you kind of have all of that here. So it's nice. There are a few students that have made really good friends with each other over the years that met during these classes. So it is a nice little.
Switch off, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to think of anything. All you worry.
I don't give you time.
There's no judgment either, which is what
It's
I
a good
like.
job.
To your
No
face.
one's I'm sure he's going to show one of my photos one day on his lesson.
Oh no! Honestly, I saw what shocked me, and this is like
He doesn't
secondary school in Quebec or somewhere, and the kids in the school went to look at their art teacher's website just to see what he was like as an artist, and all of the paintings for sale were theirs. He was selling the kids' work, and they don't know how much he sold them for, how much he's made over the years. He never asked permission or anything. He was just taking the work home and shoving it on his online shop. I mean, how naughty is that? I'd never do that.
I've just, your online students,
Yeah.
can they hear this?
They can hear you.
So
They can.
Our tutor might be on there.
No, she won't be on there. It's a cleused group.
Clever, right? She is.
Yeah.
It's a closed group, but we hear it a lot. So many people go to an art group or class and they don't get anything out of it because they're not shown how to do it. And those classes are fine if you already know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what you're doing, how do you start? But then, like you said, if there's not a huge amount of choice in Solihull,
There isn't.
where can you go? What can you do?
How did you find out about Barry?
I think it was Instagram first.
Oh.
Because my son actually lived in Banbury for a while. But I've never been into the town centre. I've been to Gateway many times. But not into the town centre.
Now
But I
that's
think it
red
was.
rag to a bull.
Right.
Shopping. I'm all about it because they're killing the town centre by
Oh, it's
pulling
terrible,
everything
yeah.
in the out of town. It
I know,
really
it's
frustrates me. I
Solihull-
spent
Solihull
13
is the
years
same.
trying to combat with the council, but they don't want to know.
Everywhere is the same. Leamington's the same. As
No, and I don't know if that one will. I've got a feeling it might be the other one that'll go, because they do really well here. But it's so frustrating. I don't know what the answer is.
The internet's killed the town.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting though is someone said that on one of the local Facebook groups, and the online shopping is still only 30% of all retail spending, and I'm also online, so you can buy from me online.
Yeah.
So I'm part of that as well as being bricks and mortar. So the biggest impact is people's changing habits,
Yeah.
and they will rather go out of town than come into town because it's
And we
not
all know
accessible.
why.
It's not accessible.
But we know
Um,
the parking charges are one of the
Yeah.
parking's first.
But you know, I in the Banbury Vision thing where we were discussing that, I said to the council, we're a small market town, yet you have 3 parking operatives. You need 3 separate apps. How is that accessible when you can pass 2 retail parks and every major supermarket with free parking? And you come in and you think, well, which app have I got? Is the internet any good? Can I download it? Can I do this? It's just not. And then if you're not paying by cash and you haven't got a smartphone or a card on you, how do you pay to park? It's just not easy. And I think once you start removing the things that make things easy, it doesn't take much. Before now, it's like yesterday morning there was a car broken down on the lights on the motorway junction. I live 6 miles away. It took me 45 minutes to get here. If I didn't have to come here, I'd have gone somewhere else. I can see why people go somewhere else, and that's what's so frustrating. There's nothing being done to help, and like the parking costs have doubled. I mean, it's still not exorbitant, but compared to how much wages haven't doubled, but parking charges have doubled, and everything you buy in the shops has doubled. So you've got to kind of think, where am I going to save that money? And if you're going to save it by not parking in town, then that's one of the savings, isn't it?
Standard, isn't it? But we have to pay here, but not at Gateway.
Yeah.
Whatever it is called.
Yep, it is frustrating. So I do try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some white now,
Ooh.
and I'm going to do the lighter parts of me petals, and then lightly, with hardly any pressure, just sort of dust it in a little bit, so it gives us a nice faded. My rounded,
Small one.
whichever you feel more comfortable with, to be honest. What's Diane saying? Oh, Diane from Diane's in Cumbria. She says the joy of doing it online is you can feel part of the group, and also replay if necessary. And Diane, you can mute me. That's the biggest joy of doing it online. I think there were plenty of times my ex-wife would have loved to have done that to me.
I think teenage kids go through a phase where you just want to press mute.
Oh, but the trouble is, I know I'm annoying. I can't even live with myself.
I'm a bit like that about me as well.
I am really annoying. And I just think, oh, for goodness sake, Barry, shut up. There's no one else to talk to, so I don't know who I'm shutting up, really.
You see, when you've got a dog, you can pretend.
I just talked to the house. I told it what time I was coming back tonight.
Barry, my water's really dirty. Does that matter?
No, not really. Basically, I'm gonna have to do a reel on this because I find it quite fascinating. I never change my water in a class, and the reason why is acrylics is a heavy pigment, so it will always sink. So when you're going, if you want clean water, if you only dip it in the top part.
Yeah.
So if you clean your brush, what I do is I go halfway down and give it a twist,
Yeah.
and then you can actually see the pigment falling.
Yeah.
And then if I want just a bit of clean water, if I don't keep stirring it up, I'll go to the top. So then you'll get a sludge of paint at the bottom.
Right. So are you on the picture now? You're just doing the.
I'm
white
doing me
bits?
white bits, yeah. Christine, are you okay?
I've not stamped them yet.
No, but I'm worried about all the cyan's going to dry your paint faster.
Well, mine look like bricks that are hanging down. You know, there's no shape now at all.
Well, hopefully that's what the white will start to do.
Well, it's making them look more like a brick. They look like a shiny brick.
If anything, they could look like grapes. I'm a bit concerned about bricks, if I'm honest. You see, what I might have to do is, as I'm doing this and I'm putting the white highlights on, if I notice that the white petals are disappearing into the background, it means I'm going to have to do a darker glaze on my background.
Oh, we're glazing, are we?
Well, I think some of you glazed over ages ago. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean with that, because it's a simple fix and it stops a lot of stress.
There's no chance mine would disappear into the background. Is my background so dark?
Well, that's good. That's what you want in a way.
Because they'll pop.
They'll pop forward. You need that contrast. So if I show you, for example, like here, it shows up more on the camera than it does in front of me. But if I mix a sort of runny, browny, grey, sludgy colour again for that snow, with a bit of white, and make it runny. If I go like that, look, and then clean my brush and just use water, I can move it around so then the lighter colours stand out more. So that's a glaze, because a transparent, in a watercolour it would be a wash. And I suppose technically you could have it as a wash in acrylics. There's no law against it. I've not had any online abuse this week so far. I'm a bit sad. I normally have at least one troll a day, and I've had nothing. When I wake up in the morning at 6:30 and I pick my phone up ready to post on our social media, my first thought is, who hates me today and where are they from? And I'm quite sad. No, four social media channels, and I've had no abuse this week.
I know. Just people have just got.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it, because it
Best
boosts.
one, wasn't it, Barry? Your fingernail.
Oh God, yeah. I did one video. I can't even remember what I did. Just a 1 minute video, and I'd got a hangnail on my thumb. You know, just a bit of skin on the side of my thumb. You'd think it was a zombie apocalypse. The abuse I got. I'd love to watch that video, but that skin on your thumb is driving me insane. I can't cope. Is anybody actually watching this, or are you all obsessed with that bit of skin on his thumb? So what I then did is I made a Facebook page called Barry's Hangnail. And I went on to everybody that commented as Barry's Hangnail, saying, thank you for noticing me. It feels really special. It was ridiculous, honestly.
Barry, are we
Yes.
doing this with the light coming from to the right?
The light kind of comes above right, yeah. But also if you have gone really too dark with your background snow, you can use white glazes to have some highlights.
I thought we finished the snowdrop.
No, nor have I.
Are we still on the snowdrops? I hope we are, because I haven't.
Yeah, we're still on the snowdrops.
We need to be on snowdrops for a week.
But I'm just showing you what happens if you need to bring things forward or push things back to make your snowdrops look even more beautiful.
Look at that ice and that carbuncle on them.
Have we got Father Christmas making an appearance yet, Steve?
I was
Excellent.
thinking about it.
Lovely.
When I sign it and date it, I'll put Father Christmas in there.
Lovely.
Well, it's like you with your little.
Gnomes. Well, was it Terence Cuneo that used to put a little mouse in everything, didn't he?
Mouse man.
Yeah. So, yeah. Little Santa.
Your picture, do what you like with it.
And El Greco always paints himself into a painting.
Yeah.
See?
I was just praising your Michelangelo.
Oh, what, my art history?
Yes. All those things I didn't know about Michelangelo.
I'm in Byfield for 6 weeks in March on a Tuesday night doing British Impressionism lecture. I'm all over the place. It's the other side of the motorway, so it's like from here it's about 9 miles. Well, from my house it's only like 5 miles away because it's going the other way. It's going on the Daventry Road. I feel a little bit happier that I've managed to darken the background enough. Rosemary, are you there, Rosemary? How's it going? So what I'm doing is every time I think I've done a bit with my Snowdrops is I squint at it to see if it stands out enough or what have you. And that's when I'm either lightening my background or darkening my background accordingly. So then we've just got foreground snow and green stuff. A bit of green. So I'll just let you know what we're doing in a fortnight while White's trying. In 2 weeks' time, we're doing. Wait, what month are we on? Oh, Tuesday afternoon. Oh, I've got Snowdrops twice. That's wrong. I've got Snowdrops on the 28th as well, and that's a lie. So next week, in 2 weeks' time, it's a portrait. Oh, that's a rogue one. The 28th doesn't exist because I've not got a class then.
I'll be able to knock down for that portrait now.
Or have I got it the wrong way around? The 12th. Oh my god, is that March? 7th. Oh, is it all wrong? Everything's wrong. All my dates are wrong for Tuesdays.
See, I didn't proofread it for you this time, did I?
No, I said to Jackie, how have you managed to get it in the diary and not tell me all the dates are wrong for Tuesdays? So it's the 14th of, which should be the 13th, and then the 27th. The 27th is a portrait. I'm not sure yet. And then that'll be the 12th of March will be skill builder bricks and facades, so it'll how to do lots of ideas of buildings.
Yeah. Put it down for that one.
I will indeed. So that's the 12th of March. So all the dates are wrong in the catalogue for Tuesdays.
Are you sure you've not got it wrong?
Oh, I always get it wrong, and then Jackie usually proofreads it and gets it right, and then if Jackie misses it, then there are some students that proofread it for me. Yes, you did. Is that how I do it? It's because I copy and paste the dates, and then I think I've changed them, and it turns out I haven't.
Well, I'm confused enough as it is, Barry, so you confusing it even more just got
Yeah.
right weird it was. What day is it?
So yeah, the Tuesday class says it's a Thursday, but it's not a Thursday. It is a Tuesday.
Check with me, Barry.
Yeah. That'll help, won't it?
Yeah. Perfect.
Silver one to do dogs' eyes.
Each individual ice crystal we put on.
I think I might make my green.
It doesn't matter if it goes thick, if it's only 4 feet high.
What do you use when you're at your other place?
Watercolour and pastels mainly.
Oh, nice.
We've hardly, how many times have we used acrylic? Over 2 years, twice?
Because we do pastel classes. Pastel
We like
classes
pastel.
Thursday mornings, and then watercolours Thursday afternoons, Friday afternoons, once a month on a Monday evening, and once a month on a Sunday morning. So I do all. I say we, it's me. Yeah, we do. At least once a month, you can do watercolor pencils, water soluble pen, water soluble oils, watercolor, acrylics, drawing, pastels, art history, calligraphy.
Oh, we love calligraphy.
So that's once a month on a Saturday.
What, calligraphy?
Yeah, Saturday morning.
Is that here?
Yeah.
But I bet that gets fully booked.
It depends really. There's usually a couple of spaces. But it's not just traditional calligraphy. It's also journal lettering as well. So it's like this week we just did typewriter script, which is like how to replicate looking like a typewriter for journals and things. And then we're doing a spring calligram next month, which is quite nice.
Spring.
Calligram. So a calligram is when it's words arranged in a recognisable shape. So like we did an autumn calligram one year where we did an autumn poem in the shape of a leaf.
Okay.
And we've done Christmas calligrams, so like Merry Christmas in the shape of a tree and that kind of thing. So I'm going to do blue and yellow for me green. About an equal amount of each, because we can lighten or darken as we go.
Is that with a small brush?
Whichever brush you feel confident with, really. I wouldn't go too big. And what you might notice is that the yellow paint is extremely transparent.
So sorry, what colour is that? Yellow?
Yellow and blue.
Yellow. Oh gosh, that looks so lovely. Oh gosh, does it come to life? Oh my god.
Oh, you can definitely come again.
Trust the process. That's another
That's
one.
it.
Barry.
Trust the process.
Yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue.
And that makes green.
It
See, we've
does.
not been taught that. So
Yeah.
I have to look these things up
No, that's okay.
for a while. All my colours, when I mix them, tend to go to brown.
You can buy my colour mixing book for £6. It's available on Amazon or downstairs.
He's so pushy.
Have you got too much blue?
Too much blue.
It will all come together once you've gone home.
It brings it out, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, don't get any on your clothes, Christine.
By the way, the coffee is beautiful.
Oh, Kathy makes a good coffee.
It's very nice.
She makes a lovely breakfast. Well, granola and bits of bob.
The hot chocolate's gorgeous as well. Oh, yeah.
I come down on the bus, so I don't have to drive.
Look, this is just see now I've patched up.
Oh, but it's not finished yet, is it?
Yeah, but Barry, you just don't know. You just don't know what's happened. I do. You can tell it's patching up, can't you? Looks like a rubbish.
My whole picture looks perfect. What was I should worry about it?
You can rectify that. I'm going to in a minute.
I mean, I haven't put any snow on my bottom yet properly. I've only got a bit of shadow. I'm having to add a tiny weeny bit of white to my green, just to make it a little bit opaque, because it can be so transparent.
It's all. I'm just doing
Acrylic paper textured.
Mostly, yeah. It's mostly textured like canvas. This is actual canvas that we're on today.
You've got to paint out the texture sometimes.
It is. I mean, I often don't worry about that. I almost like to use the texture to my advantage if I can, but it is tricky. But yeah, even the paper has got a canvas texture when you do it, because of it supposed to try to replicate oils in a way. So it's very different. You can paint on watercolour paper with it though.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. Oh, I've got someone in the shop. You get a relief for a bit. So that's my mid-tone. I need to do lighter bits and darker bits to it. And I'm going to have a swig of tea. Don't forget your drink.
And don't drip the paintball.
Mm-mm.
Don't dip the brush in tea, which is what I do.
Christine, if you notice, I gave you a mug that said not paint water today. Rosemary's not happy, her kitchen's not happy, and her kitchen has its own weather temperament, and it's not great. I've got to do the green bits, you know, the upturned U things in the centre of the snowdrops, but I'll do that when I come back.
What's going on now?
It's squinting at it.
Yeah.
If your eyes shut.
Yeah, it's not
No.
I don't think it's how you want it to go, is it?
Yeah, it's sludgy.
What a cloud.
At least it's not cold.
Sunlight.
See, he's managed to distinguish more than one stalk, hasn't he? You know, how there's it's just a different.
There's lots of big size going on.
Oh, this when the temper goes, I do stamping and it
Oh,
gets.
do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I just burst into tears. I'm a crier.
Mine is just a very rapid stamping. And if people don't know, they get a bit of it makes them jump. They're not ready for that. When it got close to the stamp with the shape of these flippant petals. Oh.
If we don't put it up against a printed one,
Yeah.
nobody's going to know what it should look like.
That's right, because it's your own world.
Yeah.
Impressionist.
Obviously you can take these home and everything, and I never let my friends see those because they think that it's supposed to be like I done it, not anything to do with the picture that was in front of it.
I was never more disappointed when we turned up one Sunday.
Great
We were doing a red kite.
Oh, but I'm
And I
gonna
thought,
like
oh,
that
great.
yellow.
No, I thought it was going to be a kite flying in the sky with a
Snowdrop
tail.
green,
Oh.
isn't it?
no, it was a red
It was a
kite
bird.
flying
It's a
straight
very
towards you with
blue
its
green
wings
one,
like this,
yeah.
and it had a beady-eyed look on you as if I'm going to eat you.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it was stunning, but yeah, trying
Challenging.
face was
your wings and everything, the sky is good. My face was amazing, but the rest of it, it looked like a red kite, but I thought it was going to
That
be.
was good.
I thought it was going to be a red kite, you know. So
Yes. That would be
easy.
very. Yes. Oh.
It was not that easy.
Oh, dear.
I have returned from whence I came.
Did you make a sale?
Yeah, it's Posca pens. Kids love them.
Posca pens.
Yeah, they're like liquid paint markers. They go on anything really. I'm going to make a slightly darker green with a bit more blue. Is that sighing at me, Christy?
No.
By any
I'm saying I'm
chance?
getting close to a stamp.
It's okay, don't worry.
And the thing is, I love it. I enjoy my classes.
You wouldn't know, would you, half the time?
Someone said, as long as you're enjoying it. I said, do you think I look like I'm enjoying it? Yeah, when do I start enjoying it?
I hate it, I do.
It's the pained artist, isn't it? The anguished artist.
Yeah.
I can't stand being here most of the time. Especially when I look at my class list and see who's coming.
I'm not here again.
Barry, if you were, not in a class, would you spend a lot more time?
Yeah. Not
Would you slow down and just stop for a little while?
so it depends really. I mean, it depends how much time I've got and what have you. I have always been a more impatient artist. But like a pet portrait will take me like 14, 18 hours.
Right.
So I do slow down. This isn't my normal speed of painting, but when I was a demonstrator we only had 45 minutes and that we were expected to do whole landscapes and all sorts of things, so I had to learn to speed up. But yeah, this is a sort of abnormal speed, so it's more about the technique than creating an amazing piece of artwork. But you will get a decent piece of artwork, as you know from the drawing classes, but you have to
Darker blue, Barry, by just adding more. No,
darker green,
by-
add a bit more blue. If you really want it to, if it looks a bit too emerald, you could also darken it with a bit of black, because black and yellow make an interesting green. A beautiful colour, Christine.
No, I've got a big white gap.
Oh, is it background or is it flower? Is that the dilemma?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got a few of them.
What the hell is that?
So that's the petal. Yeah. And then you've got this stalk thing coming down here. Look, that's a stalk. That bit is your stalk. A big like
Fat
a stamen thing.
It's got a big
Yeah, I've got
fat
to do that.
stalk.
Cover everything up.
But it is all about your contrasts, your lights and your darks and your mid-tones and the in order to make your lights lighter, you have to make your darks darker, because you can't go any lighter than your white paint. So it does take a bit of extra looking at and go, oh, that needs to be a bit more vibrant.
It's beautiful. Somebody's left.
Not going in the Royal Academy.
Although I don't know, Steve, have you seen what they have?
Yeah.
They might reject it because it's too good compared to what's entered.
We went to the Guggenheim in Bilbao.
Oh,
With modern art, and one of the biggest paintings there is probably the size of this wall, that wall there.
yeah,
And it was totally black, apart from a white square in the bottom right-hand corner.
lovely.
So we had a party of about 20 of us, and we had a big discussion about is it a black background with a white square, or is it a white background
With a
with
black
a
oh,
black surround? So
Yeah.
in one way that was really good because
Thought-provoking.
And we still remember it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true, isn't it? Absolutely.
But it was still good.
It wasn't pretty.
Was it worth?
No.
And I Going
going
across
across
that
that
walk.
walkway. No, it wasn't.
How many millions?
Yeah,
Fabulous building.
Beautiful building.
yeah.
What stalks at the back of Spain?
Mine were just so thick. So thick.
Are acrylics dry differently, different shade as watercolours?
No, because watercolours dry 30% lighter. Acrylic dries more like emulsion, so sort of flat and matte, and if anything, slightly darker, but not much colour shift. So they're almost going to dry the colour that you put on.
Okay, that's a shame.
Oh, yeah, I like that. It'd be interesting.
So you think anything stalkish, you always lose what you're doing, don't you? Because you lose which is stalk and which is background, which is.
Yep.
So I've got some really big fat stalks, not at all like a snowdrop stalk, which is nice and thin and willowy like yours. It's not willowy. It is, and it's the right colour.
Christine knows her flowers, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course you do. Oh, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kathy, if she says it looks right, and then as a garden designer, it looks right. So it's a massive compliment. She hasn't said that about mine, have you noticed?
They're
No,
amazing.
yours is just beautiful.
Oh, stop
Amazing
digging
flowers,
now.
My,
covered in snow and then pick up.
I know, they're beautiful, aren't they?
Wonderful.
My whole village has loads of snowdrops this time of year. It's stunning.
you haven't seen this little 6-year-old child sitting at my right hand side, have you? Doing the drawing.
Oh, for you?
Yes. Because that's what it looks like. Oh,
But you know this is a magic screen.
not magic enough for this, Barry.
I think it's amazing every time we put our paintings up there and it
They look all right, don't they?
different, yeah.
Even though they're a lot bigger than they are in front of you, just having that removed almost access makes a big difference. I'm having to put a little bit of white on some of my green stems just to stand out. Do you need me to come over and have a look?
They're just
Dare
the
I?
spades digging in the ground.
Well, we still got our snow to add, you see.
There's no finesse here. At all.
Is she lying, Kathy? Is
no,
it?
she's not lying.
Oh, you're not
No,
Kathy.
I'm not saying anything.
I know.
Saying how bad it
Because,
is.
no, I just don't think I should say anything.
Because.
I'll get into trouble.
Yeah.
yeah, she's a.
Yeah, because hers is so lovely. That's
not.
It is.
It's not a competition about whose is worse.
And I don't think it is. So
We ought to join in a minute because mine's not very good.
No, mine's just gone to. Oh God, I can't even look at it now. Oh, the angst. No, it is absolutely.
I'm thrilled you're all enjoying yourselves this afternoon. I get so much job satisfaction from these classes.
You know what Steve says? As long as you don't cut an ear off.
Well, exactly. I couldn't anyway because my glasses had fallen off.
Yeah.
Oh, did we have a stamp then?
I'm doing lots of
She stamps.
very dramatic.
she is very dramatic.
Well, she just
Just
stamping
ignore
now.
her most of the time. She'll be fine.
Oh, see, I don't mean to be. It just comes out.
It's your artistic frustration.
Expressing yourself.
Oh yeah.
Everything's okay.
I've got a lot of blanks in the background.
So, can you remember how we made that background colour? Brown, white, black.
Yeah.
If you do like runny glazy bits, look, you can then go back in and fill
Okay.
any areas that you need to.
Which bits are you talking about?
Like if you know once you've actually painted your flowers, if you've got any gaps in your background,
Yeah, I've got a few.
you can go in. What's it? Oh, it's 4 o'clock.
Amazing how
I've
time
got to put
flies when
I've
you're
got to put
enjoying
snow on and everything.
We're 18, you see. Oh, just honestly.
No.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I've seen your worst. So I can judge.
Yeah.
No, that's all
Look
right.
at all those, look at those fat stems and what's that?
But you could always skin your stems down with some more snow, couldn't you, once it's dry?
What with great sheets of it coming across.
I was going to say
Listen.
spatter, and then I've remembered who I'm talking to. Kathy, that's beautiful.
Isn't it fabulous?
Yeah.
That's
the
the right
right green.
snow right. and-
Yeah, but now it's dried, you'll
Yeah.
put some thicker impasto white on top. These are good to say you've never done acrylics, really.
Beautiful. But I've got all of these loads of them.
Yeah, so you can
So,
fill that in there. That's easy. Leslie, that's nice. That's
I'm
very
actually
delicate.
pleased with that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm pleased with it.
What bits do you like?
Yeah.
The detail, I don't
Well,
do
no, go
detail.
over with
The
what you
detail's
did
tricky,
before.
and it's,
yeah.
I think it's harder in acrylics than a watercolour in some way, because you're having to,
Mix it.
you've got to dilute your paint like a watercolour to get the detail. So it's kind of,
Quite
mix
good
and
that you
match.
can paint over the top of it.
Do you know, that is the best thing. So you can just keep building. It doesn't matter if it's 3 inches thick at the end, you know.
That's a stroke of luck.
That's lovely. You're enjoying yourself, yeah? That's really lovely. You know what? You're all doing so well.
The first lot of colours, was it red, blue and black?
It was brown, black and white
Or was it this
with a
one?
bit of yellow. Well, you
Right,
nearly
okay.
got it.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you got any of them colours, you've got half
So-
right. So a bit of brown, bit of black, bit of white,
Yeah, okay.
and then we did throw in bits of yellow.
Okay. Do I want to add it or I'm not going to?
That little worm.
I'm not going to say it.
I did warn Kathy that you were sitting next to her today.
Yeah. You know when I come next time?
Well,
If.
I'll go back to place setting, shall I?
Yeah. Yeah. For God's sakes, what's this? Why did it do that? Pick up that brush with black on it.
See, I haven't used the middle size flat brush. The one that's about half an inch.
Ignore that.
Okay.
Just have to let it run, sorry. Come on, I don't.
So what I'm going to do, look, if I go with neat white, I can just sort of drag and skim the thicker white over so it hits and misses. So we've got a nice textured bit of snow.
Sorry, what was that, Barry?
This is just thick white, just dragged over. I mean, this brush is so manky and old, it's not even got any bristles on. It's like a shovel. But it works really well to give us some white texture. So we don't need all of this purple. We can get rid of a lot of it. But it's just there to make it have a bit of depth. So unlike like in watercolour, you see, you don't use white, do you? Because that's you use your paper. But with acrylics, white is your friend. The same with oils. It's the way you lighten and tint and all of that kind of stuff. See, my camera's freaked out a bit now because there's so much contrast in this. It's bleached out where the snow is. But I can always, if you go too wild, you can always put a bit of purple back in. You alright, Christine? Still with us?
Absolutely not alright. I think it's because I've had too many weeks off.
Is it the cake? Has the cake distracted you?
Well, I've been dreaming about Kathy's cake for the last 3 weeks.
Well, you've only been in class a couple of times this year so far.
It's white across the whole thing.
Yeah, and you can just add a bit of purple if you need to.
I don't think I'll do it.
Back. I never want to see purple again.
I've had enough purple.
Stamping.
She's
No, the stamping is.
she's stamping and flailing now.
Yeah. Oh, but I just hate it. I can't stand it.
But it looks like. Do you want to see it on the screen?
No, I do not. You do.
There'll be some sort of miracle. It is
You owe
turned.
to us
It is.
to see what the angst is about.
Yeah, we need to see.
What is that? Where is that? Or I suppose it's the top of a stick. Oh my god, that's a bit so rough. I'm going on as if I normally do really good ones. You do.
You do. You've done some amazing things. Kathy did an amazing one as well 2 weeks ago with the snowy buildings.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I did like that. I like doing buildings. Well, I've gone back into looking at because the last one I did, that house in the snow, I liked that. And of course, I've always avoided doing any buildings. I've got a building phobia. So I like detail, so that's why I find I can't do it very fast. Yeah, because I usually do wiggly windows. I can't keep my habit. Right, but well, I'm going to put that white in and just as a badge.
It'll be amazing.
My snowdrops aren't white enough, that's the problem.
No, they're.
Do you know what I mean? Wait till you see yours on the screen.
Oh God, you don't put everybody's up on the screen, do you?
Oh, not if you don't want to.
But it looks, they
It
do
do
look.
It's
really
worth
nice.
doing.
They should be brave, yeah. Because
It is a magic camera.
Seriously, it is a good idea.
It really is. Yeah, you should be brave because you'll be amazed.
Yeah.
You will.
We're not broadcasting to the world. This isn't the BBC. You're all right. Turn my lamp down just a fraction. So it is all about putting it on and then almost covering it up again in a way, just so you can. And if you need any neat areas of white on the flowers, that's when you can add it when everything's dry. But again, you don't want to do it while it's wet, because then everything blends in.
Losing track of leaves and stems.
Can you not scare the new students off, Christine, please?
You're lucky I'm not in my 90 because I usually have a 90 on.
She is in a night. That's why I should call her Christine 90. She comes in this big flannelette pink 90.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it covers to here and to
she
the
needs.
floor.
She does need it.
It's coloured and stuff. And it is the most practical thing. But
It's a very good idea, actually, Christine.
I've been, my house is for sale at the moment, and people, you know, when they came to do the photographs.
You weren't in your 90 then, were you?
No, I had to suddenly make my house look as if it's something tidy, and it is not its normal habitat.
No.
To be, yeah.
I can
So
imagine that's
everything,
how I'd have to do mine.
yeah, and so everything was shoved in, every cupboard, everything just random, and I cannot find the night.
So you can't find it
I
again.
cannot find my winter boots. I've got, and stuff was shoved in the loft as well, so. I
Well,
don't-
I'm not doing anymore.
No, I'm just.
You can't.
My can't.
The worst thing is, Steve, is if your best bit was on your masking tape. that's the worst bit.
Yeah.
I could hear him peeling away. Oh, do you know, I really like that, Steve. I know you don't, but I do. Leslie, that's it.
I reckon that's very easy.
Do you think acrylics you're
Yeah.
enjoying that more than? Is it because you've got more control? You can
I
move
can-
it where you want and you
yeah.
can build it up.
And you
can't
can build on it. I've done a couple of I've done one of these railway posters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah. Right.
On
This
the
is
castle.
Steve's.
Oh,
Next.
No, that is lovely. That.
No Sunday
But I know you say you struggle with detail, but I think you've got a style where you don't need the detail. It works. Yours is a slightly more impressionistic
Yes,
style.
That's what I want. That's
Wi-
what I
which works.
Which you love, whereas I love the free Raphaelite.
Holiday, that is.
I like impressionism, but I love free Raphaelite.
I think that
I'm really pleased with that. Yes, I think so. And I don't look vain. but-
No, you
No,
don't.
no.
You don't. You're not. No, no, absolutely. Look at that.
Oh, that's
Basically.
That's gorgeous.
I'm all right with that.
That's lovely.
Mm.
it on that.
Thank you.
Mm.
I'm really pleased with that. It's not as good as yours, but I'll get there.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I'm pleased with that. Thanks, Hannah.
Well,
When you see it up there.
It's totally different.
is it?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, look.
Are you ready? Are you ready? That's gorgeous.
Oh, they
Isn't
do
that
look
nice?
There's
snowdrops.
lots of snowdrops.
Are you pleased with that?
Mine don't.
semi.
But don't forget, you've got a lot of learning in this. It's your first one, and you've not really had tuition before, and so you're having to keep up,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
big thing.
Yeah, that's new to us because we've never had to do that.
No,
really.
no.
That's
She does
nice.
one thing over 2 lessons.
Yeah.
So it's,
No, it's lovely.
thank you.
Really nice. Kathy, I'll do Kathy's.
So there's a lot of gaps.
Oh, it does.
Well, do you know? I think it will when you see it on the camera.
Oh my. Oh,
That's beautiful. That's Kathy's in the corner.
Oh, it's lovely.
You got.
The colour.
Are you more pleased with it now? You've seen it on the screen.
I am now seeing it now.
Because obviously the camera shows you what you can't see yourself,
Yeah.
and you've got lovely contrast with that.
I love the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really lovely.
It's so soft.
Because
Isn't
it
it?
looks like pastels. The way
Yeah.
they blended
Yes, it
in.
does,
It's
doesn't it?
beautiful.
Or oils.
And that's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, that.
I did that, wouldn't you?
Yes, very.
And that is the right colour for snow.
Yeah,
It's lovely. Line up that way.
What, the canvas side down?
Sorry, it is so bad.
It's not so bad.
It's bad, Gary.
It's
like-
not.
There's no such word as bad. It's like
No.
a child did it. It is. It's
That's
very
very nice.
No.
I wouldn't say child.
No.
I would.
Stroppy teenager.
Adolescent.
Who's never been to a lesson?
No, I think that's really nice.
It is.
But I think once it dries, you can put more white
Yeah.
on it,
Yeah,
for the
stems-
petals.
The stems are all muddled up. That's what calls it a negative.
But you've lost your momentum as well, though, haven't you? Because you've not been. And I do think losing your momentum does make a difference.
Yes, this one is. So I think it is very.
It's not very bad.
It is very bad. This one looks lovely. This one looks
I've got a lot of gaps.
Well,
I'll fill them in when I go home.
Yeah.
I'll have a go at filling the gaps in.
Oh,
That's
God, look
lovely.
at that.
That is stunning.
that's lovely. Are you pleased with that?
A lot of gaps. I am pleased with it, but
gaps.
I
What
think-
gaps?
no, way around it, they've got a lot of
There's
gaps.
a few little areas just around the
So I'll
petals,
go back in and
but you
round
can. That's the thing. You can go in and you can blend it out.
The
So-
problem is matching of the paint.
Oh well, I'll show you how you can do that before I go, and before I've got two more to
That's
show.
beautiful.
I'll show you. Even if you mix the wrong colour, so let's go. I don't know if I mix a really weird colour that's totally wrong, like that. If I soften it with my finger because it's quite dilute,
Yeah.
you can fade it out, and then you just match it up in a few other places, and it just
Yeah.
Yeah.
ties it in, so it's perfectly fine. Sharon, you might have to peel that off for me because your board's bigger than my screen.
Yes, sorry.
That's all right. Honestly, I think you've all done really well. Yours is looking.
No, there isn't on here.
I won't hear anything else.
No, right.
That's good.
We've got to make the I've got to
They're also different, aren't they?
Yeah. What amazes me is how everyone's got a different style.
They won't know that they've got their own
Yeah.
style, but
You
you
don't
have.
think you've got a
No,
style. I don't think I've got a
absolutely.
style at all. But
But the way you apply the paint is
Yeah.
very personal and unique.
Turn round a minute.
It's brilliant.
Lady, turn round. Have I got the
Above
paint?
her left eyebrow.
Oh, you have? I've got it all over my ears.
Oh, no.
I've got it
I
all
was
over
going to
my
go and get.
on your left eyebrow. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, is it blue?
blue, yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
Sharon, I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's really beautiful. This is impressionistic, and I really like it.
Oh, lovely.
That's gorgeous.
It's almost like pointy.
Sharon on the front.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you're pleased with that?
Yes.
That's lovely. Yeah, yeah. That's gorgeous. Really lovely.
That gentleman over there's keeping very quiet.
Tim, that's nice. You're pleased with that?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. Let me move my water jar out of the way. First time with acrylics.
That's lovely.
That's nice, that.
They actually look like
Snowdrops.
They do. Are you pleased?
Yeah, kind
it's
of.
lovely.
Yeah. But what's good about acrylics is that you can come back to that next week, next month,
Yeah.
and carry on.
Oh, really?
You know, because it dries. It's basically plastic polymer paint.
Yeah.
So it means that you can constantly keep going back to it and keep building on. If you don't like anything, you can cover it in white, start again.
Right.
You know, you've got so much more freedom without the fear factor. Because if it goes wrong, you just cover it up.
Because when it's dry, it doesn't mix, does it?
No, because it's all clear. And even if, let's just say, oh, I don't know, I spill a bit of water on it, on a dry bit, I can just dab it off, and it won't lift off the background when it's dry because it's permanent. It is plastic, so it's so much better.
With the brushes, so I found it very difficult to get like straight lines.
Yes.
With them. Is that are the brushes okay, or is it me testing
It is a combination. You've got a textured surface, which is difficult to get a straight line, but you also need, like if where's that one? I can show you with a bit of black and grey. You should be able. It's just getting it fluid enough and enough pigment. So it is all down to practice, but that's your first time. Dots, yeah. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye, Diane and Rosemary. I look forward to seeing what you've done.